right and left side box. Luffy oikein erityisellä vähän. The medium right one opens now.
Good evening from South Wales and welcome to the 14th and final round of the World Rally Championship, the Network Q Rally of Great Britain. This has always been a fabulous event, but this year it will be nothing short of spectacular. For the first time in the history of the championship, 4 drivers can take this title away. It's going to be a very special weekend. Let's take a look at the 4 drivers who can win this title. Carlos Sainz, can he add to his already 2 World Rally Championships? He's yet to win a rally this year and he needs to do it this weekend to stand any chance. Can Tommi Makinen make 4 World Championships a magic 5? He's farewelling Mitsubishi this weekend. It's quite an emotional time for the 4 times world champion. The crowd favourite and points leader Colin McRae, can he add to his 1995 title? It'd be fabulous if he could, and he's certainly in the box seat. The only one of the Fab 4 who has yet to win a world crown is Richard Burns. He's also saying goodbye to Subaru, and if he can win his 4th Network Q, he will win the World Championship. Let's have a look at just how tight it is, and keep in mind only the top 6 get points. 10 for a win, 6, 4, 3, 2 and 1. It's going to be very, very tight. One of the best things about Network Q being at this time of the year is we can reflect on what a marvellous year it's been. Let's take a look at rounds 1 through 7.
All the lights.
Well, those 3 victories are the reason why Colin McRae is in the box seat. There's plenty of pressure on the Scotsman and there's plenty of demands on his time. We were lucky to take a look at what it's like being Colin McRae in the lead up to a World Rally.
Okay, first of all, head nice and straight to camera. Great, thank you. That's like rolling the back. Great start.
Shall we go grab a seat, please? We'll get going. Format this morning, briefly, is we've got about an hour for pretty guys to ask questions of 3 gentlemen here, and then for radio and TV people, there'll be a chance for 10-minute one-to-one interviews afterwards to get what you need. Perhaps I can just start you off. Colin, what's all this picture of you hugging Richard in here? What's all that about?
That was supposed to be a secret affair we were having.
Who's under the most pressure, do you think, from you or Richard?
I really don't think pressure comes into it. I don't think anybody's under no pressure. It's up to the individual how much pressure they put on themselves.
And is there any real hostility there?
No, not at all. He's actually pretty tough. He's really quite thick-skinned when it comes to that. So.
Well, friends from home reckon that if Richard's world champion, he doesn't need a 206 WRC, he needs an 806 WRC to get his head in.
But would you, from a British point of view, if you had to break down or something, wouldn't you like to see a Brit win it?
No.
Wouldn't it be good for British motorsport?
Well, it might be, yeah, but I am the only British world champion at the moment, and I'd like to keep it that way.
What a story. 2 Brits going for the World Championship in the British event, and it's the last one going to the wire. Does it make any difference to you particularly?
I think it's great for British rallying that there's 2 Brits there that have had a chance of taking the title. Obviously the main thing for me is to win the title, and at the end of the day it doesn't matter who I beat to do that. I want to win the title. I'm generally at the front of the Do you want me to go up front and fly the aeroplane? Try and make it feel as normal and just go there to try and win the rally like we would go to any other rally, and not think so much about the World Championship. Just try and do our best, try and win the rally, beat Richard and Tommi, and then the rest will follow. Obviously it's a pretty important goal we're going for, and he wants to win it as much as I want to win it. And to be fair to him now, he's driving very, very well, and he has got a very good chance. And he's going to be the toughest guy to beat. I think the only other person that's going to be on the pace is going to be Marcus. I would be very surprised if Tommi was. So. Scots. Scottish. English and Scottish.
Celts, actually. The toughest guys are Celts. Barbarians.
There's no Brits in it. It's England versus Scotland. And up everybody else.
It's sunny, we must be in Wales.
It's lunch ready.
Put your mic on there on that one.
Yeah.
Try that one as well, please.
Where did that bit go?
No, that one just goes down here and connects onto there.
Is that just going over there, yeah?
Hell, we got a bit of a problem, boys.
So that's basically the engine assembly line. You were basically right at the end of it, yeah? As soon as that engine's finished, it goes into hot test.
How do you come you get the yellow ones?
It's like good looking, I think.
Morning. Didn't realise it was so popular.
Right from the start. The world champion made 5, it started.
and hopefully world champion Cardiff 2001.
You got it focus
We're all big fans of Colin McRae. We've got a rally team back home and we've followed him throughout the years, so we're all big fans.
It's a good chance to meet with the #1 man as we see him in Scotland Cup.
I think he's great. He's been my favourite rally driver for a very long time.
Right, let's see. Well, now you've seen what it's like before the event, and now the easy bit starts.
Easy bit for who, Colin? Well, this weekend, Tommi Makinen has yet another new co-driver as his regular co-driver. Risto Madison-Mackie is still recovering from injury. We sent Tiff Needell along to see what it's like to sit in the hot seat.
Sunny weather in Welsh. You don't need to be worried about. Last time when we made some big changes, it was first corner we nearly hit the big tree.
And of course it was on my side, of course.
What you never understand on television is just how fast this car's going through this incredible terrain with trees wiping past me.
But from the outside, you know, to the rally fan, the new car doesn't look much different from the old car. How come it's so different?
Yeah, it is. The biggest difference is our rear suspension is normal McPherson system, and wheelbase is much longer. It's about 100mm longer. That makes quite a big difference.
Now, everybody sort of seems to see you as the outsider, but you've actually been British rally champion in the past, and you're not exactly a stranger to these forests.
It's strange. I haven't got the situation for a long time to make a... It was very often it was the situation just to try to score some points, and that's it. And it's not been so often the situation where we've been fighting really to try to win, and I've been always a little bit unlucky. Yeah, I don't know why.
Of course, in this co-driver's seat, I should be looking down, reading post notes. But how anyone can stay looking down for that long, I've no idea. Because I just want to see where we're going.
You've got another new co-driver from Risto. You had Timo in Austria, now Kai. How's that relationship developing?
Yeah, it seems to work well. At the moment, at least it's been very good, and he's very experienced from here. He has done many times this rally and the British Open as well, and I think this is like another home for him.
Are you sure you know where you're going without a co-driver?
That's the problem. I cannot remember everything. We nearly went off already.
Do you feel a lot of pressure on jumping in at this important stage?
Well, if I say that there is no pressure, I'm lying. I mean, Tommi is chasing his 5th world title, and obviously coming as a new co-driver, it's a big step and big responsibility. But if it's possible, I'm just trying to think it's just a one rally among the others.
Now I'm in 6th gear, trying to slow it down. There's huge drops off to my left, but I'm not looking that way.
Now, of course, you're the only Michelin runner of the 4 contenders. What conditions are going to favour you more?
We have some new compound which seems to be quite good in damp condition also. Normally our tire has been very good in dry condition. Snow would be all right, I think.
Over a crest, fully sideways.
Now, it's obviously a very important technical term, but our viewers in Britain would really like to know, what does percola mean?
Better I don't tell you what it is mean. No, it's not so bad. But if it is, I think it can be. Normally, it means that something goes little bit wrong.
You've had a few too many percolas recently, so maybe less on the Rally of Great Britain.
It is our target. That's why we are here, to try to make everything working well.
I think Tiff made Tommi blush then, didn't he? We're pleased to update you that Risto, Madison, Mäkinen and also Daniel Grattalou are recovering well from their recent crashes and injuries, but still no news whether they will be back to compete in January in the Monty. We'll keep you updated as soon as we know. And if you've ever wondered just how detailed and how difficult and how challenging a co-driver's role is, take a look at this.
For me, the major thing is winning. That's why I do it. It's the excitement, the thrill of the 3 days competition for me anyway, sitting next to some of the best drivers in the world.
For me, I think it's like the ultimate office job. If you're an office type person and a very organised type person, and you obviously want the adrenaline rush as well, you've got the perfect combination of the both.
Although the driver is driving, he's got control of the steering wheel and he's got control of the pedal. It's actually the co-driver that's controlling the speed and the direction. And I mean, without that information, a driver would lose 20 to 25% of his speed.
On big jump, 70, jump 100, slight right, left max 50, slight left into left, jump
And one of the
right.
misconceptions, I think, sometimes are that the notes are co-driver's notes. Well, they're not, they're driver's notes. You know, the co-driver is the secretary in the operation. And the skill of the co-driver is in the way that he handles the information once he's been given it, and then the way it's delivered back to the driver.
4 left plus, into 4 right plus over crest, opens long, and 6 crest, 100, 6 right and 6 left over crest, and 6 right opens over crest into dip, 30, 6 crest and 6 left, into K6 right over crest and left tightens to turn 2 through narrow trees. Into 2 right plus opens. 70.
His number system is from 1 to 6, which describes what gear you should use. Obviously 1 being slow and 6 being flat out, with other additions put in between and various other speeds like plus, minus and slow.
So you have here 80 metres, 6 left keep in, which basically is a 6-gear left-hand corner. Keep in means you put the front left-hand wheel right on the edge of the road, you don't stay in the centre of the road. And flat middle over long crest, which makes you come into a huge crest, but keep the car in the centre of the road. So out of the left-hand corner, you move to the centre of the road, keep in middle of the crest, into a turn, which is a junction, 5 left, half long over bump.
We're in a descriptive system, such as a flat, easy, medium, rather than the numbers. And it's a sort of midway between, it's not the angle of the bend, how much the road turns, but it's more speed related. Richard uses a system of descriptions. We have words for different corners. I think it ends up with being something like 25 different severities of corner, which might seem a lot, you know, in basically a range from straight ahead to, I don't know, maybe 120 degrees. So I do my notes in 2 columns. This is the start of stage 15, and it's just to long crest 300. It's all straight over a crest, left max to left max, 6 gear left, 50 slight left, which is a slightly tighter 6 gear left, 100 right max for 6 gear right, to crest 140, turn medium left minus in. So this is the first junction, as it were, in the stage.
Yeah, and
so you
these
come in
lines,
really quick over a crest.
Yeah, these lines mean read together.
Yeah, this is the underlining is done in 2 ways when you do it in columns. It's done vertically and horizontally.
How far in advance does Colin like to be told what's coming up?
Okay, well, it'll vary from driver to driver, but Colin likes to have his normally just 1 corner ahead, so he knows that as he exits one, he's got the next corner. So then he can think about his line, get that corner sorted out, and then he's into the next one.
Just watching in-car with Richard, he seems to have the notes very, very much in advance, maybe 2 to 2.5 corners. Whereas Alister, for instance, is like 1 to 1.5 corners, depending on the speed. A couple of rallies ago, I started to almost swallow half my balaclava, but no, there was a bit of a loose thread that got in my mouth. And you end up coughing and spluttering a bit, and that's enough to knock you back what's probably only half a second on the delivery. Then you're just aware of struggling to keep up.
Could you do what Colin does?
As a driver, no way. I mean, he is very, very special. But on the other hand, there's absolutely no way that Colin could do what I could do. So, you know, it's a bit of a two-way thing, and I think that's where this respect comes as teammates, basically, as a partnership. I mean, we're both in control of each other, and without each other, we can't win rallies.
One main change to this year's Network Q Rally of Great Britain is that there is only one service park, and that's where we're coming to you from this evening. We're here just outside of Swansea, and this will be a hive of activity this weekend. This is where a lot of the action will unfold in front of us, and we'll be bringing you that on BBC Sport. Now, speaking of action, let's bring you up to date with the second half of the season, rounds 8 through 13.
Anything.
A good start for Tommi. Yeah.
If I leave now before you spray that.
Better be quick.
Thank you.
It is the closest ever finish in the history of the World Rally Championship. Just look at that, 2 points separating the top three. And third place Richard Burns at various stages this year would never have believed he'd be in such a promising and positive position come this time of the year, but he is, and he's loving it.
20-0-1. 20-0-1.
So what did all those fashion shots have to do with Richard Burns? Well, there is a definite link. As well as being a very fashionable guy himself, Richard has just released his very own clothing line. And we got a sneak peek at the clothes and caught up with the man himself here in the heart of London's fashion district.
Here we go.
Cool. Turn that around,
Yeah,
yeah, these are the blades.
happy?
Yeah. Are you excited about next weekend?
I'm very excited, yeah, very excited. I've been away now for just over a week, and it's very nice to switch off and relax, but it doesn't take long before you start thinking about the next event, what you can do, how I'm going to go about trying to win it, and the feeling that I'm going to have when I'm in the car driving the stages. Then that quickly gets your motivation right back there.
What's getting you excited about next weekend?
Myself and Robert have got the bonus of competing in front of our home fans, and it's the only chance obviously we get in the whole year to do that, and that gives you quite a special feeling inside the car when you go through a piece of the stage where there are a lot of people. You can feel the support, and I'm obviously very happy that there are that many spectators and fans out there, and I can just ask them to shout louder because we can hear you in the car.
How would you sum up your year?
Up and down. May it started down, and it's just been going up from the middle of the year. You always look back and just think, well, what if this happened on this rally and something hadn't happened on that rally, and it could have changed the whole picture of the championship coming into the last event. But that's the way the motorsport is, so you're not going to change history.
Burns has created his own history, dominating the Rally of Great Britain.
I could easily look back on the Rally of Great Britain and obviously say that it is my best event. We've won it for the last 3 years. I haven't won any other rally 3 times. But having said that, it's a very, very difficult rally, whichever year you do it. Even though the route gets very compact, the stages are still long, hard, rough stages, so it's going to be a tough rally.
There's a massive buzz around the world about this final rally of the year, but not too many people seem to be talking about Tommi. It's more about you versus Colin. Where are you at with all of that?
Same place as everybody else, I suppose. I mean, there's threats in this rally. They come from Colin, they come from Marcus, and they come from Tommi, I would say. Tommy's far from out of the championship. He's still in front of me in the championship. I'm competing on this rally for the championship against 3 former world champions. I've never been world champion. I've been second the last 2 years. So just to be able to beat all of those people is obviously going to be a very, very big thing and a very exciting thing for me. So that's my aim, is to obviously try and come out on top of so many people with such a big history.
Big story about you moving from Subaru to Peugeot. Are you thinking about that at the moment?
I've been with Subaru for 3 years, and to finish with Subaru on such a high as winning the World Championship is obviously the best thing that I can possibly do. So driving another car is as far from my mind as it could possibly be right at the moment. I've got a big job to do before then.
You mentioned earlier that you're chasing your 4th Rally of GB title. There's only one other driver who's done that, Hannah Mikkola. Are you a record chaser? Do you like that? Do you like the statistics beside your name?
The most important thing for me is to do well on my home event, you know, so the fact that we've done so well the past few years obviously creates means that record is there to be matched. It would be a fantastic thing to do, but the biggest motivation for me is to do well here. There's so many factors that would mean it would be an amazing end to a year when we win.
Look, they're really good quality. We've heard from McRae, Makinen and Burns. There's only one left, Carlos Sainz. He might be the long shot, he might be the underdog, but as Mark James found out, he's not giving up.
People are saying that the Drivers' Championship is a three-horse race between Colin, Richard and Tommi. Is that fair? Because you could still win.
Well, the chances I think are very, very small. I don't know in percentage. I'm sure somebody can calculate, but it's very small. Basically, it has to be really a very, very difficult situation or a very funny situation with all the other three drivers. I don't think it's impossible. I think it's just very, very difficult. And well, I think I need to be this time very, very lucky.
Sainz knows all about luck, especially the bad variety. In 1998, needing only to finish the Rally of Great Britain to win the world title, his Toyota's engine blew within sight of the finish of the very last stage. That, surely, was the lowest point of his long career.
Life is not always like you like, and 98 was really an extreme situation that life brings you sometimes. I think it will be impossible that what's happening in 98 happen again in rallying anymore in the whole history. I'm really disappointed about two events this year. Basically, that I think the car was working very well in those two events. One was Greece and the other one was Safari. I think we could have possibly won both, and we have to retire in both rallies with engine failure. Then it was coming, some other rallies like Australia, where I think was the only mistake I did in the year. I mean, big mistake that I really went out of the points, and I hit this post. I don't know if I haven't seen any picture, but it was one of these white posts which are 1,000 in Australia, where some are really hard and some are really you just push it with your hand and just drop. Colin is my teammate. He's running in a Ford Focus, and I would like to see at the end of the rally Colin winning and Ford winning. That will be a perfect year for the team, which have been working very hard, not only this year, also last year, to arrive to situation like that. So, it's going to be a tough weekend, but I hope, as I said, that everything is running in our way.
Now, don't forget, you can stay up to date with everything that's happening here at the Network Q Rally of Great Britain this weekend on the BBC website. Now, there's been much made, much talked about the battle between the two British drivers, Colin McRae and Richard Burns. But there's another British driver we can't forget about, Alister McRae.
Alister, how much do you use this, or is it just a big boy's toy?
I mean, I do use it to go back and forward. It cuts down the travelling time, but it is a toy as well.
This part of Scotland is absolutely beautiful. I've not been up here before. How much do you enjoy getting back here and being with your friends in between rallies?
No, it's good to get away, basically cut yourself off from rallying, and go back to doing the things you enjoy, a bit of bike riding, some training, and of course meet up with the boys and have a few quiet beers in the pub.
A few quiet beers?
Quiet beers always.
Confident are you that you can end your time at Hyundai with a good result?
Fairly confident. As I said earlier, the car is improving all the time. I think we've made some small improvements. The setup feels good. Everybody wants to finish the year with a good result, and being your home event will probably push that a bit harder. And, I think there is a good chance to have a good result at the end of the year.
Now, Hyundai is a Korean manufacturer, but the team is based in Britain, so how good psychologically for the team would be a good result?
I think that they need a good result. We've been close quite a lot this year. The car has been running very reliably in the second half of the year, but everybody else seems to be reliable as well, so it's difficult to get into the points. It'd be nice just to give them a going away present and then put the car in the top 6.
Put it in context for us. How big is the move from Hyundai up to Mitsubishi?
It's just the fact that you're going to a team that has won World Championships. Hyundai, I think, there's a possibility in a few years' time that they will be capable of doing that. They're a very good team and they're progressing all the time. Mitsubishi's already done that. They know how to do it. They know how to win. So I think it's going to be good.
Alister, what will the thoughts be on Sunday night as you walk away from Hyundai for the last time?
Okay, they've given me the opportunity to get into the World Championship. I've had a good 3 years with it. They're a great bunch of guys to work with. But the opportunities come along to move onto a team that's won 4 World Championships, and it's an opportunity I can't really give up. But it'll be sad to leave some of the guys at Hyundai, but hopefully it's the right decision I'm making.
If on the network queue you're in a position to help your brother, would you pull over, let him past?
It'd be nice to be in the position to have to help him. I'm not sure. It's not something we're thinking about at the moment. Hopefully Colin can go out and win the rally and we'll get it into the top 6 for some points.
There's another question which has to follow that, and if you're in the position to help Richard by pulling over, what would you do?
No chance.
What's going to happen at the weekend?
Colin's going to win. It's easy, isn't it?
No doubt about it, who Alister's barracking for is there. Now, earlier this week at Shakedown, the drivers got themselves into the car and into their cars and also into the mood for this weekend's rally. It begins in earnest first thing in the morning, but it was valuable time at Shakedown. Wednesday's Shakedown can best be described as wet, 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 but that hardly affected the drivers' enthusiasm to have a final run before the rally began in earnest. Outgoing world champion Marcus Gronholm was in an upbeat mood and is keen to end his troublesome year on a high.
Yes, of course, maybe we have some chance to fight for a victory here, but I don't really know yet. We will see how fast Colin and Richard are, so it depends on that, if we can keep the same speed.
Last year, even by your own admission, you were driving reasonably conservatively because of the title, obviously.
Yeah.
How much faster can you go this year?
Okay, it's easy to say I can go a bit faster, but you never know what can happen then. But for sure I can go a little bit faster than last year. That's clear.
Is it in your mind to help anyone in particular? Would you help Richard, seeing how he's going to be your teammate?
No, I don't want to help him. So only thing for me is to do a good rally for myself and to take the manufacturer title for Peugeot. That is the main goal.
For you, and in light of your year, so many frustrating times, will you be going all out to win this one? I mean, are you really determined?
Yeah, I don't think I want to go crazy, because we will see. If it's going easy, then I try to win. But if I really have to take risk, it's no idea, I think.
Sadly, Gronholm's Peugeot teammate Didier Auriol has no drive for 2002. And unless something happens soon, this weekend could be the '94 World Champions' swan song.
Sure, it's very difficult to say you stop now because I am still fast and I have already proved in Australia that I'm still here. So I hope I can find a very good car for next year.
Shakedown was a valuable time for one of the 4 championship hopefuls, Carlos Sainz, who, after injuring his back playing football recently, put his back to the test.
Back is getting better, yeah. A little bit problem on Sunday, but during this week it's getting better. Shouldn't be any problem during the rally.
Of the other 3 chasing the crown, Tommi Mäkinen gave his new co-driver Kai Lindström the thumbs up at Shakedown, and Richard Burns and Colin McRae were excited that the lead-up was finally over and the rally start was just round the corner.
Certainly one of the sort of biggest challenges we've had to date. 95 was a bit the same, but you know, this year's probably more so because there's obviously a lot more competitive drivers around. There's more people who can win the championship, and it's going to be a bit more intense.
You're in the box seat. How badly do you want it?
As bad as ever.
And what are you going to do to get it? I mean, we're just going to see Colin McRae ballistic this weekend, or is it going to be a fairly sensible approach?
No, we'll see what really what Richard does, what Tommi does, Carlos as well. There's a lot of people to be watching. Marcus can play a bit of a card in there as well. So really, we won't be starting slowly. That's for sure. It'll be flat out and see how everyone else falls into place.
As for Richard Burns, he can't wait to get going.
It is a big dream. You know, I've watched the rally since I was like 10 years old. So I never thought when I started rallying that I would get here, but equally I never really planned my career, if you like. I just drove because I love driving, and when everything goes well and you're flying through the forest in this car, then you still know why you love driving.
Are you excited? Are you nervous? I mean, how are you sleeping at the moment? All those kinds of things.
Sleeping okay. Of course, I'm excited. I mean, it's a nice feeling on the test. We had a very good test before the recce, and at the end of the first day, I just carried on driving in the car. You know, it was getting dark. I put the lights on, just carried on driving because I was enjoying it. And it's rare that you have a nice feeling like that. And also on the recce, the weather was pretty good on the recce, and it's rare you see the stages in sunshine, you know, and normally we come in recce, it's raining or it's grey, but it was a nice feeling, and I found myself really, you know, concentrating hard in the recce, but also thinking how good it's going to be when we get to do it full speed.
And we can't wait to see them at full speed as well. And two guys that have been flat out all year and this weekend, Mark James, Tiff Needell, welcome along. Mark, this rally's in your backyard. You must be very excited this weekend.
Tremendously, Lee. I live, what, half an hour away. When I was in my motor club days and marshalling and that sort of thing, it was these very stages that I used to help out on. And I think it's terrific that the whole World Championship will be decided, you know, within 3/4 of an hour of the house.
Tiff, that ride that you had with Tommi Mäkinen, that just looked fabulous. Does that mean you're a little aligned to him for this title?
Well, I'm warming that way. I think first with the title we have to look at the fact that I think Marcus Gronholm and the Persia are probably the fastest thing on the loose at the moment, and so I can well see him winning the rally, which would be bad news, of course, for Richard Burns, because he then finished second with McRae third. McRae would take the title, so there's so many computations that can come here, but I'd like to see Burns win it. I think he deserves it. He's had a couple of years second, and I think he ought to be one of the champions as well. And also with McRae's made it a bit of a, you know, an English-Scottish war here, you know, and I'm a stern Englishman, so I'm up for Burns. But I think Tommi, they're all underrating him. I think Makinen might be the real surprise package.
Scotsman, we got Englishman. Let's get a Welshman's view. you hang out with these guys all through the year. You live and breathe rally. What's your thoughts, your genuine thoughts on who you think will win?
I'd be delighted to see either of them win. It would be terrific for a British world champion. 1995 was my first year doing the championship, and then of course was Colin's year. My head says Richard. He's come so close twice, but my heart says Colin. He's got a Welshman sat alongside him after all.
You've seen some fabulous things in your career, but this is extraordinary, isn't it? The closest ever finish to a world championship.
It is unbelievable. It's all come here. So we're so lucky to have it on our shores. And as I said, there's so many permutations. So much can go wrong in rallies. That's always the unknown factors. You're not going to clip a log or, you know, rock falls in front of you, and you really can't predict what's going to happen. So it's the unpredictable that makes it so fascinating.
Just quickly, with the past with Richard Burns, how much do you think that's going to come into account this weekend with his previous 3 victories?
Everyone's saying you can never win this four times in a row, but you have to remember Colin won it 3 times, and then obviously has had a few problems in the last few years. There's 3 wins for Colin, 3 wins for Richard. Who's going to get the 4th? That's the question, and that's what we'll be bringing you this weekend.
Well, it's the big question, isn't it? And we're really looking forward to the Network Q Rally of Great Britain this weekend. Fabulous action coming up over all 3 days. Leg 1 kicks off first thing in the morning. It is the closest ever finish to the World Rally Championship. It will absolutely be nothing but a thriller. Hope you can join us.